this Thursday, May the 16th, 2019. It is now 6 o'clock. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. May we have roll call at this time? Present.
Present.
Present. Present.
Present.
Present.
Do I hear a motion to excuse the absences of these two members?
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Next item on the regular agenda is the approval of minutes of our March the 21st, 2019 meeting. We'll have a chance to read them. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I so move.
I second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay. Our next item on the agenda is a presentation of the director's report. Mr. Garcia, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. My name is Adolfo Garcia, your library director for the city of Pharr. Going on 13 years of being a library director. Thank you very much I'm thankful for being here and also for being the director of the library and working with such great staff and working with such great library board. So at the end of this year, it'll be 13 years.
13
Time flies.
years.
So I'll cover some of the operations of the library and the DRC library in South Pharr. That'd be the Development Research Center. On your sheet, I put some of the operation budget information, and then Mike will cover some of the DRC events, and we'll finish it up with Santiago, who's going to cover some of the children's activities for the library. If you have any questions, anytime you can just let me know. So proud to say that the DRC is picking up traction. So we have gate count at the DRC at 21,000 since, a little bit over 21,000 since after the start of the fiscal year. And the library gate count at our current library is over 121,000. So we're already at half of the fiscal year, so it's about half. So by the time the fiscal year ends, we'll be over 200,000 at the main library, and I think over 40,000 at the DRC, the Development Research Center Library. And we have pretty good circulation. Again, the main problem that we have is keeping the students with new books. The only complaint we had from them is they always say, well, I've already read all the books. Luckily this year, we did get a grant from the Valley Interfaith. They went ahead and gave us and granted us $5,000 to purchase additional books to add to our children's collection at the Development and Research Center Library. The Valley Interfaith, they went ahead and granted us $5,000 to make that purchase. And we partnered up with Carmen and I Elementary, their librarian, to make sure that we bought the adequate number of books and also the age-appropriate books for the students that primarily use the library, their students. And circulation, over 21,000 books have been checked out. At our current library, almost 31,000 books have been checked out. DRC revenue, we make a little bit of money. I mean, there's fines, and our primary revenue is pretty much printing, faxing, and fax to email. But we still fax. I mean, a lot of people, there's pertinent information out there that requires privacy, so they do use our fax service. So we're over 50,000 at the DRC library, and library revenues here is over $36,000. I didn't put the cafe revenue. I think there was some. They didn't make it to the sheet, but it's over $14,000 year to date fiscal year. So as you can see, our budget is pretty good. I mean, considering we have a population of about over 80,000 people, but our service population is over 100,000 because we do get money from the county. We have to count the people who outside of the city's jurisdiction who use our library services. From the county, we do pay the library automation system, and after all those bills are paid, we get a little bit over 14,000 to add to our operations budget, so that we can spend on additional books, primarily technology. And percent used year-to-date is over 53%. Year-to-date expenses over $852,230,000. So we're a little bit over, well, just about halfway through, so it makes sense to
53.
only have spent half of the budget already. So we're already working on the budget from now until August, which will be finalized. If you have anything you want to suggest to me or my staff regarding the library, then we'll welcome to hear you out and see if we can put it in this year's budget, so it'll go through the cycle to meet to go to our representatives, which are our city commissioners, and hopefully they can agree with you as far as the needs are at the library. I do want to see if we can budget for new furniture at the current library. The other library in South Pharr has brand new
Brand new.
furniture. Everything's brand new books, brand new furniture, carpet, staff, brand new. So one thing we want to do here is try to keep up the look of the library, and also make sure that nothing gets too dated, and make sure that the furniture we have is very practical and easy to use for our maintenance staff as well. One thing I did do this year two big expenses as far as maintenance. Of course, the computers. We bought 54 new computers for the first floor. They've all been replaced. They're on the system. Everybody can print and use the internet for their uses. And another thing, if you didn't notice, we did do an outside wash of the library. So it looks like it's been freshly painted. And then one more expense is the restriping of the entire parking lot. So those are big items that were part of the budget for this year. So now you can see where you're parking.
Revenue for new furniture comes from the general fund?
Yes, if we does meet the requirements for the budget, it'll come out of the general fund.
We cannot use the revenues coming from our cafe?
Well, unfortunately, no, it doesn't stay for the library operations at this time, but if that's a recommendation from the board, then I'll bring it up to our finance directors to present it to our commission. Now, it may not be a lot. Furniture is kind of pricey because we're looking at some quality furniture that will last another 5 to 20 years because the way it's being used. But indirectly, it does come back to us. So really, it doesn't matter if we keep the money or turn it back into the general fund. At least that's the way I see it. If not, then we can. Another way to do it is just keep it in our regular operations every year and not have it go back to the general fund. But that's certainly a recommendation that we can make.
Mr. Garcia, I think at the last meeting you had mentioned that the bricks with names,
The pavers.
The
on the
pavers
south
that,
side entrance.
needed to be
Yes.
cleaned or whatever.
The same company that did the washing of the exterior of the library. He's supposed to get. He's working on a quote for us to clean them out and also reseal them so that they'll last a little longer, at least visually look more aesthetically pleasing. So right now they're weathered. I mean, the weather here.
Yeah, stepped on by millions.
Yeah, there's gum, grime, dirt, and everything that goes into those pavers. So we certainly need to wash them and do some maintenance on it, and find the time because, as you know, we're open every day of the week, making sure that nobody tramples on the pavers while we're cleaning them.
The black paint is already worn out. quite a few.
Yes, all that is worn out.
You can see the
So
ribbons.
we need to reseal them,
Mhm.
clean them and reseal them. But yeah, I'll revisit it with the vendor who did the washing and see where he's at as far as the quote. So hopefully he's not too busy. We did do a survey.
Mr. Garcia, I
Man.
think we should ask for the 40,000 or the money that we get from the goodies from our little deli bar. Because the furniture is super expensive. And then
Mhm.
they'll say, well, you're keeping the big one. They won't compare
Mhm.
the monies that we get from the city. And the money.
Well, there's options. I mean, we can redirect those funds to go back to a special fund for furniture and just build it up. And then once we start the budget cycle, use that to roll it over to the new budget and hopefully only have to budget
I just
a little
don't
bit
want
more.
to think, well, we're gonna get that money, and
Mhm.
then they end up taking away from our, budget.
Yeah.
That's what I was afraid of.
Well, we can, certainly there's ways to do it, but the main thing is to make it a priority and talk to our finance director, see about how we can do it so we can budget for the furniture. We did do a survey at the DRC. One of the things that they do want to see is maybe opening the place a little bit earlier. Right now, the hours of operation are from weekdays from 10 to 7. They want to see if we could open it up from 9 to 7. I don't know if I mentioned it at the last meeting, but that's one of the things we want to make sure the place gets used more, the library side, so that the patrons come in a little bit earlier and use our services. Especially computer use, people want to be able to do their work during regular work hours, between 8 and 5. So if we open it closer to 8, that being 9, then we can certainly accommodate that.
What about the rooms that are utilized by all these organizations? When do they start?
Usually those can start early in the morning. Usually they start by 8 o'clock all the way to,
Except the library?
except the library. Yeah, the library won't open. I mean, it's the blueprint is made so that that part of the building can be used and the library can have a separate operating hours.
Okay.
And we do that right now. Sometimes they stay later, sometimes they come in earlier. It all depends what the purpose of the meeting is for, or the activity. The capital projects that we're working at the DRC, at the South Pharr Library, got moved up a little bit more due to the grant and also to the architect and the general contractor, because there was some money left over. We're looking at using that to finish out the staff lounge and install the bus shelter and also build out a time capsule reflection area. It's like a little pocket park, so people can come and sit down, in a restful, peaceful place.
Have they asked for the ability to have a cafe like this one?
They have, as a matter of fact, they want to know why we don't have a vending or little cafe area, but it just wasn't. My intention was to have one, but then when we started doing the numbers, we couldn't possibly do it. But the space is there. I mean, the space was, we did put it there. There is space for vending machines, so we'll look at putting just self-service vending machines, like in the lobby area, where we have some seating spaces. So first, we'll put those, see how well the people respond to it, and if they sell quite a bit, then we can think about adding a cafe or other things we could sell. It all depends on traffic. We want to bring in traffic, and that's one of the ways to do it. And also adding services.
Mhm.
And one of the big things coming up, 2019 already, summer reading program, a universe of stories at the Pharr Memorial Library and at the DRC Library, where currently we already started registration, and the event goes on from June 3rd through July 7th. It's one of the things that Santiago will cover as far as the calendar of events for the summer reading program. Very popular. We're anticipating over 1,000 kids to register. We're duplicating the events at the Pharr Memorial Library and also at the DRC. Magician and other fun activities for the kids. Of course, the primary thing is to make sure kids are reading during the summer, and we want to make sure that we incentivize the reading, so we'll provide a lot of incentive for the kids. We're also going to add a teen reading program and also an adult reading program, see how those work out this year.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to leave the rest of the time to Mike and also Santiago, so they can cover the rest of the activities, cover some of the activities that's going on, and also what's going to come up next with the summer reading program in the children's department. All right,
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mike Singletary. I'm the branch manager at the Development and Research Center. I'm going to go over the events held in the study rooms. Not the study rooms, I'm sorry, the conference rooms and the exhibit hall. These are the nonprofit organizations that we have over at the DRC. The meeting rooms and the exhibit hall are also for rent, but that falls onto another department that falls with Parks and Recreation. And their window is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 is when we have our window for nonprofit organizations, and that's what I'm going to cover right now. It's a little backwards. We have February in the page right after it. So
Yeah.
in February 2019, we started off with PSJ teacher support training on February 1st. February 7th and 8th, we had the Pharr emergency management training. February 12th, we had fire department training. February 14th, Customs and Border Protection, CBP, they had their meeting. February 21st, Express Employment Professionals, they had a job fair there at the DRC. February 26th, PSJ again had teachers in service. February 28th, we had a Bridge Connect. Also February 28th in the exhibit hall, we had the Pharr Library Dr. Seuss birthday party. That's one of our bigger events, and I believe Santiago is gonna cover that one in more detail. The exhibit hall is also used as a place where they hold, Parks and Recreation holds pickleball, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, for adults and kids as well.
What's that?
It's a combination of ping pong and tennis. It's like a larger version of ping pong, and instead of a table, they play it on the ground. So they have paddles, they have a ball like a large ping pong ball, and they have a net, and you play it like tennis.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
it's gaining popularity amongst the older retired people, because it's.
Seniors?
I'm not sure why it's gaining popularity, but it's getting popular.
Was it can move?
Yes.
I
Okay,
can't.
now we go to March, the page before. March 1st, new teacher center training. March 5th, we had another Bridge Connect. We've been having a lot of Bridge Connects because there have been a lot more, there have been changes. There have been tariffs and things like that going on, situations with the bridge and immigration and things like that, so they need to have a lot more meetings. March 7th, Customs and Border Protection again, CBP. March 12th, MHP Salud, they used the room. March 20th, Women's Health and Wellness Clinic, we had the wellness bus visit the DRC. And they provided screenings and things like that for women. March 21st, PSJ teacher training. The board suggested we have authors over to do a author meet and greet. So on March 23rd, we scheduled a meet and greet with 3 authors. It was going to be 1 author, but a couple more wanted to join in the little group. So we had Gabriel Sanchez, Patty York, and Caitlin Renteria. Patty York is a children's book author. Gabriel Sanchez, he writes culturally relevant material for our area. He writes about the border wall and Trump and things like that. And Caitlin Renteria, I believe she's recently graduated. She wrote her book when she was 16, So it was good to have that perspective of a young author. It was a good event. We had a good turnout. That was March 23rd. March 25th, PSJ dual language department training. The 26th, it was the same thing. It was PSJ. 26th to 28th, they had teachers in service. It's not there, but it was just the teachers in service. In April 2019, April 2nd, we had another Bridge Connect and the PSJ training in the exhibit hall. April 3rd, we had the Pharr Human Resource Department have a training, and PSJ was in the exhibit hall again. April 4th, Customs and Border Protection and the Bridge Connect and the PSJ training. So we had 3 organizations sharing the conference room and the exhibit hall on that day. April 5th, we had the PSJ principals come in and they had a meeting there. They called it a principal forum. April 8th through the 10th, we had all the rooms reserved for the Hidalgo County Head Start. They came in and they had their Dia del Niño, Dia del Libro event. So they bussed in all the Head Start students from all over the county. So we had hundreds of kids on a daily basis. So they would, yes, yeah, we had about 1,000 every day. April 8th through the 10th. So they took over all the meeting rooms. They had the exhibit hall. They had the parking lot in the back, and they were using the parking lot in the front for tractor trailer rides, like a hay ride. So.
And who organized all that?
The county. The county. I believe the director's name is Palacios. The last name Palacios. I'm not sure what his first name is. He was the main organizer, the one that organized everything, but it was through the county. And then April 22nd through the 30th, we had city elections. We kind of, we allowed them, well, we didn't allow them, but they used the room for voting. So there weren't any programs from the 22nd to the 30th. It was all dedicated to voting. And the pictures on the bottom, they're for the Dia del Niño. So each center had their own specific color of t-shirt. So you had little groups of students with yellow shirts, and they were all in the same classroom. And then blue shirts and green shirts, and they would have the name of the center, San Juan 1, San Juan 2, West Laco 3. And
Is this the first time they use it, the first year?
No, this is the second time they use it, actually, the second year. Before that, they would use the Pepe Salinas Civic Center, but since it's under construction right now, they've been using the Development Research Center. And from what they've told me, they like it better over there, because there's a lot more space. Yeah.
Well, after it's finished, who's gonna have more space?
When it's finished, probably Pepe Salinas. But I'm not sure if they're gonna go back to going back to the Civic Center. For right now, we welcome them. If they wanna use it again next year, they're welcome to come back and use it again. Yeah. And that was about it.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Lots of work, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Hello. It's exciting. Sorry, I speak a little bit louder. It's exciting to see everyone here, especially to report on some of the things that we've had. As Mike mentioned, it was about February 28th when we had our Dr. Seuss gathering there at the DRC. It was exciting. It was full. We actually expanded to 2 rooms. The year before we used the exhibit hall, and we decided that it's probably going to grow. And it did, so we used the other rooms that we had available, And we through partnerships with the South Texas Literacy Coalition, community partners, and what we have planned with our, from what you all have recommended, we were able to put on a really, really good event. We had Mrs. Quiros from Carmen Anaya come and be our special guest reader. And she did a really great job. And it's really good because she got to see a lot of her students out there participating outside of her library. That night, they did arts and crafts, and their art and craft was actually their snack. So they made a Lorax cupcake, and it was accompanied with a mandarin because we want to be a little bit more healthy, on the healthy side with Pharr health and things like that. But another thing that came right after that was our Easter egg hunt, which I believe Mr. Garcia may have reported on last time. It was a huge success. We had a lot of kids and even more eggs. So we had about 15,000 plus eggs, so there was plenty of eggs to go around. Kids left with smiles. Parents were excited. Some people left with bunnies also. Some people gave away real live bunnies.
I understand there was money in some of those eggs? Is that
Yes,
true?
actually, there was money that was donated from our Friends of the Library, and then a couple of other local organizations that were able to provide that. So we had anywhere from $5 to $10 in an egg. So kids probably went out and had some more fun after.
Oh,
after
yes.
That. Yeah, so it was early. We do ours around 10, and we do it a week ahead, so that way we don't sort of go head to head against with the churches that have their organization things that are going on. And it seems that there's other libraries in the area that sort of plan out around ours, so that way kids can go there and then move on to the next location. So it was well attended. We had Parks and Rec partner with us because they have a lot of young, energetic people that can run after children. T-STEM and Vanguard were there, available with their volunteers and their or sort of their organizations that they use with us and partner with us. The next thing we had was the Dia del Libro, Dia del Niño celebration. Again, with partnership with the South Texas Literacy Coalition, we were able to give each child there a book. So each child left with a book. It was a good attendance on a good night, and we had a lot of children. We actually had I know her first name, we call her Miss Rosario. She's actually from the PSJ Migrant Department, and she came in and was our special guest reader, and we did a bilingual session there with our reading. And then we had local community partners come in to be able to help the kids with giving them like little goodies that can help them out. But what I'm most excited to talk about right now is our summer reading program. Our summer reading program, if you turn in your folder, you're gonna see where it says a universe of stories. That's our theme for this summer. And we have a page that says important dates. The very first important date that we have has already passed. It was last Saturday, May 11th. It was the day where we open up and we have our program sign-up day. So super excited to see that there was kids lined up outside for that and ready with their parents, eager to be the first child. So at 9 a.m. we started at the Pharr Memorial Library. The first 150 kids there received an official Universe of Stories official book backpack, drawstring backpack, and then we're still working on the South Branch. We're getting there, though. We started there at 1 p.m. Sorry, there's a lot of times. 1 p.m. and we had kids sign up there also on Saturday. And we're in the sign-up process. The last day to sign up is June 2nd. That's kind of the official, unofficial last day. They can still register during the program, but we just remind parents that the later they wait to register, it becomes more difficult for them to attain sort of program guidelines and the ability to be there on July 19th, which is our Pharr Aquatic Summer Reading Program, Pharr Memorial Library party. So that's where I believe some of y'all attended last year, and we want you to put that date on your calendar, July 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. That's where we honor our top readers. That's where kids have fun swimming and cooling down during the summer, and we give them a snack. We give them a couple of snacks, and they have a lot of fun. So if you're available on that day, we'd definitely love to have you out there. I believe we had some people pass out some of the gifts last year that they were able to attain. So if you go to your next
I
page.
went. We
Did you
attended.
pass out?
We attended. We passed out.
It
No,
was
we
good.
did.
We had great photo ops. It was really good.
Yeah, it was
Can you
really
repeat
nice.
the date again, sir?
That's July 19th.
19.
Yes. And yeah, last year we had, I believe we had about 400 kids finish and completing for the program guidelines, and we had about that plus their parents show up. So we're looking for a little bit more as we increase. It seems that every single program from adult to teen to children's is just, it's growing, and it's getting even greater. But right now we're in the month of May, and but since we've already started and passed out the sort of the June calendar, One of the things that we're excited to have again this year is our Saturday summer events. And that's sponsored partly through our budget through the Pharr Memorial Library and then some community partners. So every Saturday, we have a free event where kids can come in at each location at 11 a.m. at the Pharr Memorial Library, 2 p.m. at the Pharr Development and Research Center. And what they do is they come in and they promote literacy through what they're able to do. So we have Fragile Wildlife Planet. They're actually an organization that just moved down from New York, and they're coming down to show us some endangered sort of reptile species that we should be looking out for to help out. We have magician John O'Brien. He develops a literacy magician show depending on what our theme is. We have a local person, a community partner that's going to present a taekwondo, and she's a triple black belt, I believe. I don't mess with her. And then we have Laugh and Giggles the clown. They're going to be coming in and doing some sort of magic tricks, some clowning around, and then Driscoll's going to join us on that day, Driscoll Children's Hospital, to provide some balloon animals and face painting. So it's going to be kind of like a little carnival day for them. And then on the last Saturday, last year it was a pretty good day. We had about 10 kids participate in our library talent show. So this year we're going to sort of move it up and see if we can have at least 20 kids participate, and they can do anything that displays their talent. They can get up and read a poem, they can read a book, they can juggle, they can sing or not sing and lip sync to a song. Any way they want to express themselves, we want them to be able to get there and sort of build their confidence, and we promote this all through literacy. We try to relate everything to a book, so that day they say, oh, this book inspired me to be able to do this talent. Of course, we're adding astronaut school on Sundays. We usually do Sunday stream, but for the summer we're pausing it, but that doesn't mean we're pausing our STEM and STEAM activities. They're just going to be taught through what's called our astronaut school. We're going to be able to take about 12 kids in each program, and we're going to teach them what it is to be an astronaut with little knick-knack things like, okay, this is what astronaut exercise is. This is what astronauts would do to try to put gloves to work with tools. Monday is always movie night with popcorn. Tuesdays is craft time, all designed around our universe stories. And then we have a toddler time, a story time on Wednesday. Astronaut Chef, which is our most highly anticipated. We're going to be doing things like astronaut food, things. Well, I don't want to give everything away, but it's going to be really fun. And then
Food
also
that floats.
well, that's the hard thing, gravity. So, but our theme is we're going to be making asteroids so the kids can eat. We're going to be making rocket fuel, totally safe. We're going to be doing a lunar cycle with Oreos, where they have to create a lunar cycle by pulling it apart and eating part of the white creamy goodness in the middle, and to create the lunar cycles that we have. So they're really interactive, and this year we're adding a specific book to go with each activity, so that way we can push a little bit more literacy. And what we're doing is we're really emphasizing saying, the children's staff may not be an expert in everything you're seeing, but we're in a place where experts go. They go to the library to learn, and all kids can become experts and astronauts in a universe of stories. So this year we're really pushing, we may not know everything, but we're in the place where you can find everything. And that's one of the things that we want to push, to let kids know that the library is more than just it's more than a computer. It's just a place to hang out. It's a really good place to attain knowledge, and it's working. We're growing, and we're doing things like that. So our official last day of the summer reading program is July 7th. So that's the last day for them to turn in their book reports. That's the last day for them to shop at our little incentive store that Mr. Garcia had mentioned earlier. And right now we have some really good, we have a partnership with the Kids in Needs Foundation that helps us partner with Joanne's. So they send us a lot of the things that they're not able to sell. Good for us, they're not able to sell expensive things. So we got things like expensive STEAM and STEM activities that the kids can use their book bucks to be able to purchase. Also, they can purchase a hardbound Scholastic, great book, AR testable, very readable, for one book. So these are $20, $30 books that we've got at extreme discounts that they can come in and be able to purchase. So the summer is going to be really, really exciting, and we're looking forward to being able to work with the kids and to see them grow. We're providing inside. Mr. Garcia was able to provide us with a sort of statistics of what happens to a child when they don't read during the summer. One of the things that was most astonishing was that the school district will lose out on $1,500 per child that doesn't read during the summer, because teachers have to be able to get them back into into getting their read where they're great at. The other one was if they're a third grade reader and can be able to read at a third grade level in third grade, that they're 80% most likely to be able to graduate in their grade. So we're passing on this information to the parents to emphasize it's really important early childhood literacy, and we go all the way from infant all the way to adult at the library now. So it's going to be an exciting summer to see how that pans out for us. But as for that, that's pretty much, I know I was on fast forward, but our May calendar is there. We still have something every single day for the children. I'll let y'all go ahead and look at that, but at this moment, if you have any questions, I'd be more
I
than
have a
happy.
big question.
Yes.
This is wonderful, and you all do such a great job every year. We congratulate you. My question is, who helps you put this together for the whole summer? And who chose the theme for this summer?
Okay, so the theme is given to us. It's sort of nationwide. It goes through all the libraries, so it's just a general theme that we typically use. The way that summer programs are sort of designed and made, it's basically up to every individual library. So McAllen will be having this sort of theme, but the way they operate is unique to their patrons that they have in their area. Same thing with San Juan. The duration, meaning how long we go with the actual program, is based on the individual library. We do really good with having about 4 to 5 weeks with our program because it gives a little bit of time for kids that are on different time schedules. So that seems to work out really well for us. Collectively, the things that go on in the children's department and it's a team effort. We try to look at the best abilities of our staff. If you go into the children's department, if you go into the circulation, if you go into reference, you're going to see you're in space. You're either on getting ready to go into space, or you're inside space on the moon, or you're upstairs and you're seeing a whole world of different things. So it's collectively done by sort of the greatest attributes of our staff, and sort of collectively really supported by Mr. Garcia, which allows us to do that things. But really, when you go in, say thank you to the staff because they work really hard. They work really hard on their art projects. They take pride in being able to do some of the things that we do as a library. But everything, you can't say it's one person. It's really everybody that comes together to be able to make it work.
Wonderful.
And you have a lot of talented on your staff, a lot of
creative.
talent.
Oh yes, definitely we do.
Yeah. And you're using everybody in the library, like you said in the research upstairs. You know, you have a very talented young man who does a lot of your artwork too.
Well, I won't mention his name because he'll be embarrassed,
I
but
will.
he is phenomenal. He is
Yeah,
really
'cause
I
good.
he's
will.
very
I know who
humble.
he
He's
is.
very humble.
It's beautiful up there.
And how many on your staff in
I
the
have
children's department?
combined with the DRC, we have 2 full-timers at the main and 2 full-timers at the DRC, and then we have 2 part-timers. We do have a couple of work studies that work with us during the year, and we have one that's going to continue during the summer. But we do get a lot of volunteers, and recently got the opportunity to speak at the Texas Library Association about our volunteer program when we went to go back a few weeks ago in April. And a lot of the large success that we're able to do all these things is because we have a good partnership with PSJA, such as T-STEM and then Vanguard, some of our local community that come in and help us do some things. We have some parents that come in that are very good artists. So they're able to say, what would you need help with? I need that wall to look like a galaxy, and they'll help us out in that area. So it's really, I like it because it's a community project where people can come in from the community and really take pride and say, you know what, I had a part in that. And then staff can come in and say, you know what, hey, guess what, come see what I was able to do. I mean, for me, it makes me excited because everybody feels as if they've had some part in it, even from teenagers to adults to our staff.
Did you say you presented? Was this at the conference?
Yes.
The conference in Austin?
Yes, and
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, so what was unique is that about 2 years ago, I was able to attend a sort of mini conference in Austin, Texas, where they were doing sort of a trial and error of volunteers, and it was a new program under a grant given, and it involved a lot of random states: Ohio, California, Arizona, and Texas, I believe. So we have certain representatives in Texas, and we had sort of a meeting in Austin. And being trial and error of going through different volunteer systems, they picked out of Texas 3 different unique volunteer systems. Us being because we work with about 70,000 to 80,000, and us being that it's unique because we work with a lot of teenagers. We had someone from Gatesville or Gainesville. I could not understand her accent. So it was a little twangy. Yeah, okay, we'll go with Gainesville. And she was more around, I guess, around 5,000 of population. And then we had the volunteer coordinator out of San Antonio speak on a panel that spoke about the different uniquenesses about the volunteer organizations that we have going on. So it's sort of like a collaborative effort. And for me, I was excited to speak on how we're able to use teenagers when a lot of libraries aren't able to do that because they don't place a trust in them. But it's really about managing them and having your staff being able to manage them while they're there. And again, it's also the schools that send them to us. They're doing an excellent job on directing them and having them take pride in the work that they do off campus for their organizations. It was an exciting opportunity. I was excited.
great.
That's wonderful.
Because that was a big conference, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's a state conference.
So you put us on the map?
Hopefully.
Keep us there.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I hope you liked both presentations. I do want to end it with just mentioning that Joanne does provide a good opportunity for us to take some of the stuff that they don't sell and they in turn donate it to us. And through them, the Friends of the Library also are able to generate some funds, and they're able to, for this summer, donate $2,000 towards our summer reading program, which will apply for the Pharr Library and also the Development Research Center Library in South Pharr. So they do help us a lot.
Well, I think that all of us want to commend you on all your work and what you do for our kids.
And we will do Pharr.
Yes.
Group effort last week was National Municipal Employees Week, so we had a little luncheon for the staff as well, so to kind of incentivize them and also keep the morale up so that this summer it doesn't feel like they're working, they actually come to the library to do something they like to do. So I
What
do thank
about the
staff.
kids, the volunteers? What do you do for them?
We do at the end of the summer, we plan out a volunteer little luncheon or like a little volunteer
Banquet or
get together
something?
for them. So that's, we work with all departments to make sure we try to get them back. Sometimes not all of them come back because they're getting ready to go back to school, but we
You
try
need to
do as much.
recognize them, maybe in the
Yeah,
newspaper.
we do a small recognition, but it's like, it's good
Yeah,
to do
but,
more, but we only do it within our
But they
department.
need to know,
Mhm.
we need to see their names in the paper somewhere and give them recognition. If you talk
I
to
think this year
the advance.
we'll do that. They like to see themselves on social
Of
media, so
course.
we'll
Yeah.
go ahead and take a group photo and put them on social media so that the school also knows where they're doing their hours. So that's very important.
And they're good, that's good for their resumes
Mhm.
and scholarship, trainings and all that.
Certainly, that's
And
why we do
what
it.
ages do you take volunteers?
What are the requirements or?
Usually, the need is for them to fulfill requirement on their behalf. The school sends them,
Oh, yes.
and we're
I see.
available
Yeah.
because our schedule kind of fits what they need. We're open every day of the week, and we're open till 9 p.m. during the regular week. So they're able to work after school and also during the weekends. So the library serves as the perfect opportunity for them to do their hours.
Very, very,
Mr.
very good.
Garcia, one very good thing that I kept hearing over and over throughout your speeches was the partnering.
Yes.
You're having partnerships with the school, with the county, with a lot of people are
Yeah,
coming in and
we're a
working
growing community.
together.
It's a growing community. I think
Wonderful.
we value the
Community.
partnerships that we have with the community organizations,
Very
the
good.
school especially. So
Mhm.
without them, some of the stuff we won't be able to get done.
Yeah, nobody.
And of
yeah,
course, our
working
kids live in
together.
the community, you live in the community, we just want to make the community better.
Mhm.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and all these groups that meet at the,
DRC.
DRC.
yes, that one. It's good public relations. It's great public
Oh,
relations.
yes, and the need is there for people needing, wanting a place to meet. I mean,
For me,
any public organization that needs a meeting place can go out there, make the reservations at no charge during the regular work week, and they're able to use it. And we want the community to use it. That's what it's for.
Very good.
Very
We're
good,
great.
very good.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you. That'll finalize my presentation. If you want to go ahead and close the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
leader. Okay. Are there any other questions?
No.
So, it is 6:44. Do I hear a motion to
I
adjourn?
moved.
Nice second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. Thank you.